Hello miss, in this video I talk about uh, the reasons why the world doesn't need use more nuclear weapons. Throughout the history of humankind there have been wars, some with less damage than others have, but equally harmful to the people involved. Has technology advanced? Has countries focused on having the best weapon army to have a control in wars? Science has evolved so much in terms of armament that there are already chemical substances that are the size of diesel but with the capacity to kill to 100 million people instantaneously and leave waste to the return displays inability for many hundred years. If a lot of that size can use the damage, how would a quartz by the size of a minibus? It is so much that the nuclear armaments have advanced that if a limited of war of nuclear weapons were given, they could end and up the world life of the planet. Now that we know this, it should be emphasized that there are currently more than uh, 15 millions 15 million nuclear weapons in nine nations. Okay, the great nations store this in a sure way that are capable of firing in more or less 15 minutes since they are in a state of alert in the case of war starts. We know the damage done by the Nagasaki and Hiroshima bombs. Are these weapons are even more advantage and can do more damage than those made by those two because they are not protest about nuclear weapons. Our generation never life the fear of having to hide nuclear shelters or have to stop the classes for for these reasons they have attempted of nuclear weapons, but for this reason people need to help make very important decisions about nuclear weapons and how they are more relevant in the world. Every year, millions of dollars spent on nuclear arsenals to modernize them and make the last over year. But what would happen if instead of spending those millions on how try to destroy the world, they would use them to repair it? The speaker, Erica Gregory, does not speak that there are currently viruses and many serious threats that would happen in some hacks one of those computers and activate some launchers. How many lives would this action cost? We must understand the importance of nuclear weapons. Side is a fact that would this that the black market of this is something that is being live and we have not realized it yet. In the Republic of Georgia, some subjects who try to sell nuclear materials to terrorists for $2,000 million. were arrested, and we must know that there have been nuclear incidents in many places. But why don't not we find out? In the United States, nuclear weapons have launched in California twice. One of these almost ended in tragedy. When 5 of 6 insurgents burst, these insurgents are the tools that prevented it from exploding. In 1995, in Blackgrant, the Soviets took the south of nuclear US missile operation their airbase, and then President was waiting 5 minutes of launching an attack in retaliation against the United States. For these reasons, the nuclear nations of the world understood they get to write them. But in their treaty, there is no date in which they must get rid to same this treaty have not yet fulfilled, and it is very likely that it will not happen. President Kennedy might never have been achieved. However, before that happened, Kennedy was killed. However, the promise of this innovation of two superpowers did not disappear completely, because in 1991, the United States collaborated for the collection of uranium that was dispersed in the former of Soviet Union. With this, we can hope that the strategy is a lot of reason to the Kennedy vision. It is said that this process could last about 30 years. Everything points to a future without nuclear weapons by the year 2045. It is believed that they could have a higher technology advances that allow US to travel to space to become a multiplanetary species. However, all these roads are reduced by the still stinging nuclear doctrine that says mutually assured destruction. We must put aside this thing if we want to reach a future with mutual prosperity and ensure the survival of all. We must make a promise to the world in which we break the hold that nuclear weapons have in our imagination. It is time to commit ourselves to take care of resources and leaders of the world spectrum to work on this old problem. Thanks.